This is Seasons of Discontent with your hosts Rick Snyder and Matt Combs on the Hogstein Network.
Welcome to Seasons of Discontent. It's Season 4, Episode 2, brought to you by Rick Snyder's Washington on Twitter, Facebook, and YouTube. I'm Rick Snyder.
And I'm Matt.
And we're back discussing all things Washington sports and life. We're now simulcasting the show for podcast. Go to Hogstein Network. For video, we're on Rick Snyder's Washington on YouTube. So today, Matt, in our new format where we only do 15-minute shows, we're just going to do mock draft. And we'll do another one next week because we do them every week. They change. And, of course, the Washington football team picks 19. And I think there's a bunch of places that they could move up. Number 1, Trevor Lawrence going to Jacksonville. I don't see that changing.
No.
Number 2 is Zach Wilson going to the Jets.
Yep.
All right. So number 3 is where life starts to get interesting. 49ers moved up. They want a quarterback. Some people say they're taking Mac Jones, which I'm like, really? Why'd you move up to 3? You're not taking Trey Lance or Justin Fields. Okay, so, I mean, I don't know. I think that's where life really changes. But any way they take a quarterback, there's still 2 more guys that are going to be taken in the top 15 because New England's waiting for one. So, Washington could move up. So 5 quarterbacks are going in the first half of the first round.
Yeah, and that was the thing. I mean, you got say before the trade, you had 5 teams in the top 10 that could possibly take a quarterback. Obviously, the Jags, the Jets, Detroit, maybe Carolina, but also they just got Sam Darnold, and then Denver, they're always going to try and take a quarterback. I don't know. I don't understand the move. Why did you feel the need to go into the top 3 to get Mac Jones? I mean, you were in 12th. If Jones was going to pass maybe Atlanta, because I still think that Justin Fields is a better player than Mac Jones. They could have went with Fields at 4. At Detroit, they're going to take best player available because they're kind of in a rebuilding mode, and they do have the kid from LA, Goff, so maybe they roll with him for a little while. Like I said, Denver's kind of a open, that's kind of open right there. They don't really have a definitive position that they're taking. And then obviously Dallas signed Dak. They're not taking a quarterback. Philly is believing in the boy, I can't remember his name off the top of my head now, but they traded Wentz and they're going to roll with him. I think they could have stayed outside of the top 12. They could have stayed at 12 and still gotten Mac Jones.
Yeah, it's really baffling. But no matter what quarterback they take now, number 4, Atlanta, I thought for a while was going to go Kyle Pitts because I think Kyle Pitts is the best player in this draft.
And they have Matt Ryan for a couple more years. I mean, let's be honest. Yeah. His play has declined, but he's still Matt Ryan.
But here's the thing. You can't take Kyle Pitts now. That pick that you have is going to be worth 2 firsts and a third for somebody wanting to move up for a quarterback, something like that. So you can't take Pitts. You've got to trade down. You've got to trade the pick to somebody who wants one of those other 2 quarterbacks, and you will get a buyer.
Yeah, but who's going to give up to who is that buyer?
Well, New England might go up that high. Denver might go up that high because they're all going to get a little nervous, man. When they're on the clock and you want quarterbacks, the fever, it's like gold fever. They'll just do crazy stuff to do it.
Belichick, I don't see Belichick doing that. Obviously, now he went outside the norm with free agency and spent a bunch of money this year, which they don't normally do. But I don't see him. Belichick's always been a trade back guy. He's never been a trade up guy.
Yeah, but you don't have Brady anymore, and he had a losing year.
And Brady won the Super Bowl.
And he's getting older. So I see Belichick, he could even go to 8. That might be where he goes. But there's people, even Washington's, looking to move up, although I don't think this is where they go.
No, you know what Belichick's going to do. Belichick, they re-signed Cam for 1 year for a couple, for pennies on the dollar. But he's waiting for San Francisco to release Garoppolo. Because look what he did with Garoppolo when Brady was out.
Yeah.
He basically got Garoppolo that $100 million contract.
Right, and Kyle Shanahan's talking about, it could, Garoppolo could be a backup here because he's playing the game.
No, not for a $100 million contract. He is not a backup. Yeah. He's getting released the day after the draft.
This time of year when people ask me, what do you think of what coach or whatever said? I go, it's lion season, and I ain't talking about the Tiger opposite.
Yeah.
You know, everybody lies their butt off because they don't think lying's a sin in the NFL. You're forgiven for your lying sins.
I got you.
You know, when it comes to this. So I do think Atlanta very much could trade that pick and Kyle Pitts falls some. And it kind of goes like number 5, I think the Bengals take Penn State left tackle Penei Sewell. You know, they already have a quarterback.
Yep.
So,
but the intriguing thing for the Bengals is going to be Jamar Chase, who played at LSU with Burrow.
And that's an interesting one too. I mean, if that left tackle, I think Washington benefits by left tackles are going to fall a little more than they should have.
Yeah, I think the first part of the draft, it's going to be a run on quarterbacks. The second part of the draft is going to be a run on wide receivers, and it's going to benefit the Washington football team. It's going to benefit them because they're going to have a choice, hopefully, of offensive linemen, which I think they take. And if the offensive lineman that they don't want for some reason happens to not be there, they do go linebacker. They want a middle linebacker. You know, look at the history of Rivera, you know, in middle linebackers. I mean, he took a relatively unknown guy to me, Luke Kuechly, and turned him into a damn near a Hall of Famer minus the concussions. You know, middle linebacker is an important position in a Rivera run defense.
All right, we'll get to them in a minute. 6, probably Jalen Waddle. 7 to Miami, and 7 is Detroit. I think they go Jamar Chase.
Okay.
You know, so now you're at 8, and you have either Fields there, you have Pitts there, you have Trey Lance maybe still there, you know, and 8 is where people could trade up to go for those guys. Yeah. Carolina was talking more about an offensive lineman, but now you trade that pick down too.
Yeah.
Because somebody's going to still want to go quarterback there. And, hey, I don't know, Ron Rivera knows people in Carolina. Not that helps, but it doesn't hurt.
Yeah.
Washington could make a move there. And number 9 is Denver. They're kind of open. They might take a quarterback, especially if one of those 2 guys is there. But that's another possible trade partner, you know, there. And if it goes this way to me, then Kyle Pitts goes to Dallas at 10. That's a done deal. You know,
and that's I don't want that to happen.
I mean, Jerry Jones has been lusting after him.
I know.
11 is the Giants and 12 is Philly. Washington can't trade with them because you cannot trade with your division rivals like that. That's just stupid. You know, never do that.
Right.
So, you know, then it falls to 13. I think the Chargers want to take an offensive tackle, maybe Darisaw out of Virginia Tech.
That's who I'm eyeing for the Washington team. But anyway,
if Washington's looking to move up, because if they want a linebacker, you have Micah Parsons out there. All right. 17 Vegas is going to take him if he's there. So that means you're either trading up to 14, which isn't going to cost you too much, and get Parsons ahead of Vegas, you know, if all things being equal. Or, you know, New England is a possibility. If they haven't traded up, they may go Parsons.
Right.
You're going to have to make a move there if you want him. And it's not going to cost you too much to move up a few slots.
No, maybe a second or a third.
I mean, Arizona at 16 is talking offensive lineman. So that could take one of the guys away if Washington wants that. And Miami's talking D lineman, so that's not going to affect them any. But, you know, some mock drafts you have 19 is Washington taking an offensive tackle still. I think at 19, if they're still there, they go linebacker. But the big ones right now in most mocks, Alabama left tackle Leatherwood.
Yeah.
Or Oklahoma State's Tevin Jenkins. Neither one excite me much. I would rather see them go linebacker.
Yeah, but realistically, think back to when they drafted Trent Williams. Did that excite you?
Yeah, I thought he was a really good player.
Yeah, but did it excite you? Like, did it excite you as much as when they took, say, I don't know, Robert Griffin?
No.
Yeah, an offensive lineman is not going to excite you. It's not a position to excite anyone, you know, except for the true diehards or the true, you know, football nerds. No offense, people. Yeah, I mean, an offensive lineman is not there to excite you. It's not a position to excite anyone. But the fact of the matter is they drafted Trent Williams, and he played here for over 10 years and was an all-pro. I mean, you know, and he was a bookmark or a bookend for a decade. I mean, I don't know. It's a position of need. It's not a position to excite, and I'm fine with whatever. I mean, you know, I don't expect them to go quarterback. I think that their quarterbacks are set. They're going to go with Allen, Heineke, and Fitzpatrick. I think they focus on quarterback next year. And I don't even think they're going to go for one in the draft. I honestly think Rivera is going to do this known veteran or a younger guy that's been in the NFL for a couple years, next year. They don't really need, running backs don't really go high in the draft anymore. Wide receiver, one of the big play guys isn't going to be there at 19. So, you're not going to get Pitts, who's the best tight end in the draft. You can get a tight end in the third or fourth. I think they go linebacker or offensive tackle. I mean, it's a position of need. It fills a hole. They did a lot in free agency to address a lot of the other positions with, they did corner, they did wide receivers. I don't know. I just think that's pretty much. I don't see Rivera, Hurney, and Mayhew moving out of 19. I think that's pretty much what they're set with, and they're going to go. I think they go tackle or linebacker.
There you go, Notre Dame linebacker Jeremiah. And I give Grandpa some credit because he said this name flawlessly the other day.
I'm not even going to attempt it.
Owusu, and I don't know. Koromoa. Something like that. Grant said it like nothing. I thought, damn, I know I can. But he's a really good player, and maybe they go there.
Yeah.
The second round, quarterback Kyle Trask out of Florida will be there probably, and that's a maybe. But don't take a quarterback in the second round unless you think he's really it.
Right.
Because I think a receiver could be in a second round pick. There'll be a bunch of them there. That's the great thing about this draft. Quarterbacks high, offensive tackles are high, and linebackers and wide receivers are going to go middle, late first round, and in the second round, there's going to be people there at both of those positions.
Yeah.
So I wouldn't take a quarterback there unless you think he's the truth.
I mean, realistically, aside from quarterback, what are their biggest needs? I still say I say offensive lineman, I say linebacker. You may need to address your safety position depending on what you're going to do with Landon Collins. I obviously think he'll be here this year because he makes a lot of money. But you drafted a guy and you got lucky with him in the 7th round in Cam Curl last year. This kid that they got from Chile to play tight end, man, if that guy can work out, that dude, what is he, 6'5", 6'6"? I mean, and he runs a 4.4 30. I mean, come on, man. If they could take the success that they did with Logan Thomas and they could do it with this guy, holy crap, that is a hell of a duo.
I mean, but I got to tell you, when's the last time a great story, and I wish him well, and man, if he's out there playing it, awesome. But I don't believe for a moment that he's really going to do it. He's a practice squad player.
I agree, but
football experience.
I mean, he was catching bombs at that pro day. And I understand, look, it was in t-shirt and underwear. I get it. It's it's a show off, but he was catching bombs, man.
Yeah, it's not that. It's that you don't have somebody ready to knock the snot out of
him. Yeah. And that's the thing. I mean, he was a basketball player. He's a basketball player. He's never had a guy squaring up to make a tackle on him.
I mean, it'd be amazing if they found this guy. That's that 1,000,000 to 1 shot. I wish him well. I think he'll be on developmental rosters 2-3 years, and then it's time to either do it or not because he's getting older.
But you know how the fans are in DC, man. They get on that one guy in preseason. He's going to be hyped.
Oh, yeah. They'll talk about him the whole preseason.
Oh, of course. He's your next Marcus Mason, man. I mean, fans are going to be shocked when he's on practice squad.
Listen, the NFL would love to have him on an NFL roster. Sell jerseys all up and down Chile. I mean,
oh yeah,
why not? They love players like that. That's why they have developmental teams like this. Mm-hmm. But I just don't see it. He has no real football experience so much. I just don't see it. So, all right. Well, like I said, the schedule is not coming out till mid-May for once. It's really late. So we don't know yet. That's going to really impact some things I see too. I do see tickets being, everybody's trying to get tickets. I don't know. They're going to talk probably, I think, by the fall, 25%, which is about all FedEx usually is anyway, at most. For yeah.
It's going to keep the other team's fans out of our building for once.
When they said the 10%, I thought that pretty much takes care of the market locally. People forget that what 2019 was like. There was no fans left.
Yeah.
But we already got to go today. All right. I hope you're enjoying the new show format. Send in your questions to our Twitter. Matt knows what it is. And we'll be back next week. And the draft is coming up soon. So who knows? We'll probably change our minds for that too. Say the least. All right. I'm Rick Snyder.
And I'm Matt.
See you all soon.
Bye.